All right, let's open up a time capsule. We're going to jump all the way back to 1977 and crack open a letter to shareholders from a much younger Warren Buffett. And what we're going to find inside, it's not just some dusty old financial report. Nope, it's a timeless playbook on how to think about business, success, and yeah, even people. So, right off the bat, Buffett comes out swinging. He takes this phrase we hear all the time, record earnings, and basically tells his shareholders to be skeptical. Most CEOs would shout that from the rooftops, but Buffett wants you to ask a much tougher question. What does that number really tell us about how the business is being run? I mean, his logic was simple. If a company just holds on to more of its profits, of course, its earnings are going to go up. He said even a dormant savings account will earn more money every year from compounding interest. That's not a sign of management genius, it's just math. He was telling investors to look past the easy headlines. Okay, so if record earnings is kind of a bogus metric, what's a better way to keep score, right? What was Buffett's preferred report card for a company's management? Well, his answer was all about something called return on equity, or ROE. And it's a really simple but powerful idea. Think of it this way. For every single dollar you, the owner, have invested in the business, the equity, how much profit is management squeezing out? It's not about how much money the company makes in total. It's about how hard that money is working for you, a way sharper measure of performance. So, how did Berkshire stack up on its own scorecard? A whopping 19% return on equity? I mean, that is a fantastic result. Way, way above average. But here's the thing. That amazing number was hiding a pretty wild story, a story of a company being pulled in two totally different directions. Okay, this is where the letter gets really good, because in 1977, Berkshire was basically a tale of two completely different businesses living under the same roof. And we're going to start with the one that actually gave the company its name. The original textile business, the very heart of Berkshire Hathaway's history, was in serious trouble. And Buffett, man, he does not pull any punches. He flat out admits in the letter it had a very poor year and that he was dead wrong about it turning around. The business was just struggling, big time.
You know, any business school prof or slick consultant today would tell you the same thing. Shut it down, cut your losses, sell the equipment, and move on. It's the logical, cold-hearted, spreadsheets don't lie business move. But that's not what Buffett did.
He kept those mills running because of something you almost never hear about in an annual report: duty, loyalty. He knew these factories were the heart of their towns, that his workers were older and wouldn't just go out and get new jobs. And everyone, from the unions to the managers, had worked their tails off in good faith to make it work. It was a deeply human decision. All right, now let's flip the coin and look at the other side of Berkshire. And trust me, it was like a completely different universe. While the textile guys were fighting tooth and nail just to survive, the insurance business was absolutely flying. I mean, just look at these numbers. In a single decade, insurance premium volume just exploded. We're talking nearly 600% growth. And the craziest part? They did it all without issuing a single new share of stock, so nobody's ownership got watered down. That is pure, uncut growth, folks. And seeing these two businesses side by side, the one struggling and the one soaring, it led Buffett to one of his most brilliant and simple analogies ever: the idea of headwinds and tailwinds. And this right here, this is the whole game. It's his core philosophy in a nutshell. The textile business was a constant headwind, like trying to run into a hurricane. Even with amazing managers, you're just fighting for every inch. But the insurance business, that was a powerful tailwind. It was like having a jet engine strapped to your back. The industry was so good that it just carried you forward. So this huge idea, finding these tailwind businesses, how did that translate into his actual investment strategy? Well, it became the foundation for everything, for how he looked at buying stocks, which for him was just buying little pieces of businesses. He lays it all out crystal clear. 4 rules. They're so simple, but so incredibly powerful. And check out rule number 2, favorable long-term prospects. What's that? That's just classic Buffett speak for find a business with a massive tailwind. And you know, this wasn't just talk. This wasn't some theory he was cooking up in an ivory tower. He was putting Berkshire's money where his mouth was, making huge bets based on these exact 4 rules. And right here, you're literally looking at history in the making. He was snapping up huge chunks of companies that are now legendary, like the Washington Post. Each one fit the playbook perfectly. Amazing businesses, great tailwinds, solid management, and best of all, they were on sale. But you know, as you get to the end of this incredible letter, you realize that beyond all the numbers and the strategy, there was one thing that Buffett believed mattered more than anything else. And here's the final lesson, the big takeaway. A powerful tailwind is great. It's absolutely crucial. But you need the right people, the right pilots, if you will, to really harness that power and make the business fly. The letter is just filled with him praising his managers by name, giving them all the credit. For him, it always, always came back to the people. So that leaves us with a challenge, right? A question that's just as relevant today as it was nearly 50 years ago. Take a good, hard look around at your job, your company, your industry. Are you constantly fighting a headwind, just trying to stay afloat? Or have you found a tailwind you can ride? Because finding the answer, well, that could change everything.
Before you go, one quick thing. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel. We're building a community of people who want to think differently about money, investing, and financial freedom.